Hey everyone, thanks for staying with us. I'm meteorologist Mark Elliott. Right now, 36 million people under winter weather alerts. Inga still pushing all the way into the East Coast. Let's go through what we know right now. The latest on Winter Storm Inga. Many schools closed, especially across the South, but Georgia, Alabama, Tennessee, North Carolina, some of the many states with a lot of school closures. States of emergency in Louisiana, North Carolina, as well as Georgia and Alabama. And unfortunately now 2 deaths have been associated with this winter storm. We're still following Inga as it makes its way towards the mid-Atlantic. Raleigh, the snow has arrived, and it really looks like much of the state is going to get some good snow, maybe with a bullet right around the Raleigh area, and that's where our own meteorologist Reynolds Wolf is. Reynolds, right now, temperatures have fallen to basically the freezing line. More cold air on the way. Roads look okay for the moment, but that could really change later.
Yeah, it really doesn't take much. The thing that's interesting that I know, folks, we mention this to you all the time, that it doesn't take a great deal of snow to cause problems on roadways. It can take maybe an inch or so. And if you're just driving too fast or you're on the road at all, you can have all kinds of problems. Right now, though, right along Wake Forest, things are looking pretty good. But we do expect as temperatures tumble, we're going to have some problems out there. Let's go to show you some video that we have from Orange County, North Carolina. Not far from where we happen to be. You'll see more of the same slick conditions out there. You've got some of the snow that's beginning to pile up on grassy surfaces, bridges and overpasses, 2 places that are always susceptible to some icing. Now, please know the North Carolina Department of Transportation has been out and about. They've pre-treated many of the roads, but still, it's not going to make things tabletop clean. You're always going to have some problems. You're always going to have slick spots. Do your part. If you can avoid traveling, by all means do so. If you do have to get out and travel, allow plenty of room between yourselves and those salt trucks out there. They're trying to make it safe for everyone. I got to tell you, in terms of travel, it will be tough here. Out at the airport here in Raleigh, conditions are about 32 degrees. We have snow that's falling down there, but no major backups yet. That could change overnight, and by tomorrow morning, we could have slow-and-go times, no doubt about it. But I'll tell you, for the 450,000 people that actually live here in Raleigh, what a change we've seen. We started off this morning with relatively dry conditions, and then I'd say in the last hour or so, you take a look at the radar, you see that the moisture just coming on through. Now, this is not something that's going to last days and days, but it will last for several hours and make its way all the way into the evening, where I think we could deal with anywhere from 3 to perhaps even 6 inches of snowfall, where we happen to be. Now, there will be some outliers, meaning there's some spots that will have considerably less, no other places that will have a bit more, but all it takes is that glaze to cause some problems out there. This is certainly not the only place that's been dealing with the winter weather. We've had a dose of it across other parts of the South, the Mid-Atlantic. You know the story that we've been sharing with you from Marietta, Georgia, all around Atlanta. My gosh, I-75, you had the icy conditions there. And now we're going to make our way back up to Worcester, Mass. That's right. We'll make our way back up to New England, and that's where we'll find Kelly O'Hara. Kelly, I got to tell you, travel here expected to get worse. How was travel in your neck of the woods?
Hey, Reynolds. Well, travel is slow today. People are definitely pumping the brakes. That's because of all the snowfall we're supposed to get in this part of the state. We are in Worcester, which is the western part of the state here in Massachusetts. Second largest city here in New England in terms of population. And let me tell you, they're expected to get about 1/2 of a foot, anywhere from 4 to 7 inches. More west of here, even more snow. Historically, this is an area that gets a lot of snowfall this time of year. That's because we are inland and also because of elevation. You can see this is a snow, too, that is really sticking. It's sticking to the bushes here. It's enough to make a nice snowball or two. This is nice, hard-packed snow. And so far, my trusty yardstick right here, we get about 4 inches of snow. Again, 4 to 7 expected to fall in this region. But as you can see, we are under a winter storm warning, and this snow is going to be falling all day long. Now, state police telling people to pump the brakes today. That's because there are a lot of plows in and around the roads here in Massachusetts. About 1,800, believe it or not. And there are a lot of accidents. On my way out here today, I'm from Boston. I drove out here. It's about an hour west of the city. And let me tell you, there have been a lot of accidents on the roads. That's because of all that low visibility with the snow. It's like a haze on the road, as you can see right there from our city cam. People definitely, you want to slow down there as well. Schools are called out here in Worcester to make sure that everyone stays safe, stays off these roads. A lot of schools in and around the area canceled as well. Here at Union Station, trains are more running on time. A lot of people here hit the trains instead of on the road to go to their jobs, but not a lot of activity here as you would normally see on a work day. That's because not a lot of people go to work on a day like today as well. So as you can see, the snow is falling here in Worcester. It's expected to fall all day long. So far, believe it or not, this year, 30 inches have fallen in our short time. Our short time during the winter. That is up from the average. Right now, we're going to send it to our storm specialist right there in the studio. It's going to tell us a lot more about what to expect today and the upcoming days.
Yeah, you're exactly right. There's been some odd sort of snowfall statistics now emerging across the United States. I mean, Mark and I and Jessica, we were just talking about this, that Marietta, Georgia, just north of Atlanta, has gotten about as much snow this season as Madison, Wisconsin. Who thought, right? So that's pretty remarkable that the South has gotten beaten up by snow and continues to be that way right now in parts of eastern Georgia still, and in South Carolina where there's some light to moderate snow moving through. It's almost over on the back edge of it here in Columbia. Another couple of hours or so, 2 hours maybe. I don't know how much more comes out of that, another inch at most, but it's definitely left its legacy, this winter storm. You can see some of the numbers in and around Georgia and nearby Alabama. Mark and I were looking at this at Birmingham. There's kind of an empty spot here, right, where we saw almost no snow in Birmingham, whereas to the north, south, east, and west, you got some. And then there's some interesting numbers here coming out of Georgia, just north of Atlanta. We're generally less than an inch in Cherokee County, Woodstock, and in Cassville, Cumming, Georgia, almost 2, and in areas just south of the metro, about 2 inches at Hartsfield International. In Raleigh, North Carolina, it is snowing moderately, meaning the visibility has now come underneath a mile, in probably accumulation rates of a ½ inch per hour. But just to the west, Durham, North Carolina, just west of Durham, North Carolina, they're reporting 4.5 inches already on the ground with snowing heavy snowfall rates, so about an inch per hour there. So you're going to get a few more inches to come. We think it's going to be most of the afternoon before it's gone. If you look at our timing graphic, there's a batch of snow here in central North Carolina. That means business. Now, I originally thought a couple hours ago that our forecast of 5 to 8 inches right across the central part of North Carolina would be closer to 5 rather than 8. I'm thinking, given that Durham, North Carolina has gotten almost 5 already with a few more on the way, the final numbers will be more than that. And in fact, this is an actual map of snowfall yet to come. So if you add 4.5 on top of that, maybe 3, 4 more, there'll be places out here near the Research Triangle that get maybe 8, 9 inches of snow and it's all done. And in the Northeast, it is still snowing, especially in interior sections of New England and New York State. There's that frontal zone that's been in place, which is accompanied by a little area, a real ripple of low pressure along that front, bringing some snow. But in fact, not as much as we've seen along the Gulf Coast, which is one of those weird oddities, again, talking about, right, snow in the Northeast, a couple inches here, but I'm telling you, Auburn, Alabama got 4 inches of snow, Marky. How about that from this thing?
Yet another very impressive snowstorm across the South, and transportation officials there are saying you got to stay off the roads. Snow and icy conditions are making it hard for everyone to get around. An update on conditions.